Hello, everyone. Welcome to FinanceOlogy 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that, information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gifted Generation Presents FinanceOlogy 101. I know it's been a minute. We've been doing Wednesday Rewind Wednesdays, and this is a live streaming podcast tonight on credit, something that we all need to know about, and I don't want to assume that everyone knows about it. So, I would like to take this moment to introduce our financial specialist, Tina Smith. She's the president of the Financial T Coaching and Consulting Firm and the author of It's Your Turn, Walking Your Financial Purpose. Welcome back, Tina.
Hey everybody! Thank you for having me.
Yay!
I'm so excited about
Yes. Good to have you back. It's good to have you back.
I pray all has been well
So,
with you and the family.
Absolutely, it has been. And
Are
it's
you
really
there, Tina?
yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
yeah, I
Okay,
can.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Okay. It has been
So,
well with the family. Everything's been good. Business is rolling, books still selling. I mean, we're saving
good.
the world one client at a time still, and our clientele is continuing to grow, and not so much that our clientele is continuing to grow as far as us getting more business, but our clientele is continuing to grow as far as their financial situation and position. They're elevating, and we're just so excited. We couldn't be happier and more excited for our clients.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, again, I thank you all so much for having me again. I really appreciate it. It has been a hot minute, but the
Yeah.
tea that we're going to be spilling tonight is still good. It's still sweet. I'm ready.
All
Yeah. You
right.
you
So
always ready. You always ready.
oh yeah, we can tell by her energy level. She's ready to talk about this. So let's just jump into it. Like I said, I don't want to assume everyone knows about what credit is. So give us an explanation of what credit is and why it's so important.
Robin, you always have the hot questions. I really appreciate it. I think let me just give you a couple of highlights. I think concerning credit. Um, Two things. How I see it. Everybody might not see it this way, but I'm trying to get everybody to think on a different level, a different plane right now. Credit to me is leverage. That means I can take somebody else's money,
Mhm.
get what I want with that person's, with that other company's money or whatever, and then pay them back when I'm ready at the lowest interest rate possible. So if I have a line of credit, where let's say a credit card, and I want to go spend $1,000 on a bunch of stuff or one thing that's not really me, but a bunch of stuff, $1,000, I can take that company's money, use that $1,000. Now I may have that $1,000 in the bank, and I always recommend that if you're going to use credit outside of buying a house or buying a car, have whatever that you want to buy, have that money to purchase that thing in the bank. Use their money. When you're ready, you can always transfer your money to the bank or the creditor or whatever, when you're ready. And that could be within the next 20 or 30 days before the interest rate hits. So really, you still got what you wanted, but you used somebody else's money to get it and not your own. And you could have
Right.
kept that money in the bank for a little bit, have your little interest, come through or whatever. So to me, credit means leverage. Why it's so important? Because when it's time for you to purchase that car, that home, the dealership or the mortgage lender is going to look at your credit. Your credit history equals your word. Your credit history will say if you really stuck to your word about paying other people back on time for a long period of time. Can you do that? Can you honor your word and keep your word long term? So if that's the case and you have a great credit history, creditors will throw money at you because they want a piece of your action. So just off the top, credit to me means leverage. Why it's so important? Your credit history means your word.
And that's it, at this time because of COVID and people being out of work, and I'm quite sure they trying to, make ends meet. They probably maxed out credit cards. I know that people are not really thinking about their credit down the road. They living for here and now, but it's so important to always keep that in the forefront of your mind that your credit is going to impact your future.
That is
So
100%
if you
correct.
don't have a good credit rating down the road, you still going to be in trouble.
The funny thing is that my husband's family members, they're going through moving into apartment complexes. So there's some family members that he has that are looking to move from one apartment complex to another. The lease is up and things of that nature. And it used to didn't be this way. But do you know today your credit history and keeping your word per se, that is being considered now to go rent an apartment.
Yep.
That's also now being considered before you purchase a phone if you're gonna have to put a deposit down or not. Same with utilities.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Even when you're not going to purchase large things, it's amazing about how important having good credit is, because that's going to determine whether you need to pay more money up front because they can't trust you because your word is bad according to your credit history, or they say no, you have a history of paying people on time, no deposit required, or here's the minimum deposit humanly possible we're going to charge you. So having good credit
Right.
keeps money in your pocket.
Right, right. I have someone from Dubai asking a question. They're
Wait, did you
asking
say
how,
Dubai?
yes, ma'am.
One of my
And
favorite
they're
cities in the whole world. I'm going back to Dubai on my 50th birthday. I cannot wait. Hey, Dubai, what's happening?
okay, they
Wave,
said
wave to the Burj Khalifa for me, please. The Burj Arab, wave. Sheikh Zayed Road just shot. Hey, Tina. Hey, that's
He
my
said,
favorite right
he
there.
said, he
Yes.
said, he said, yes, we'll do. Best place, come on over.
Oh, I appreciate it. I can't wait to go back to my 50th birthday. Oh my goodness. I'm so jealous right now. Okay, go to the question.
Yeah,
okay, his
but you better
question
have
was
that good credit to get over there.
Listen, hey, you can't go over there. You can't go over there with no money now. You gonna go to
yeah,
Dubai, you
Yep,
gotta
yeah.
you
yep,
gotta be
yep. No
ready to
joke.
go. Okay.
So so
Yeah.
so his question was how long, and I guess just here in the US it takes to establish credit. How long do you it takes for us to
Well,
establish
he
credit?
says
That
non-U.S. citizen. So I
Oh,
guess when you,
non-US citizen.
yeah, yeah, now
Okay.
you're a non-U.S. citizen. Now you come to America. Now you become a citizen. So if you starting at no credit, how long does it take to build that credit? And I guess not only how long it takes to build it, what would you suggest in order to build it?
Oh, excellent. And as you were going through that question, I was thinking in my mind, what could I say to get somebody started? The unfortunate thing is it takes one bad mistake to ruin your credit for 7 years.
Mm, yeah, we know a lot about
So
that.
it could
That's
it's almost like a relationship. Like, it takes time. Like I've been married now for over 17 years. We got a 15-year-old, and it took time for us to, during our dating season to build that process, to build
trust.
that trust, that relationship, that hey, if I come to him about this, or in his case, if he comes to her about that, will we, Snap, or what will we do?
Right.
And so it
Right.
took a long time to establish with one another that, hey, you're in it for the long haul, I'm in it for the long haul, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. One bad mistake that I make, and it could blow my entire relationship up. And I feel like that's how credit is. You take so long to nurture, you pay on time for a long period of time every month, and one late payment, and you're just like, seriously, one late payment, and it could just throw the whole trajectory off. So I would always first of all, you can establish credit quite quickly, actually, and I would recommend doing that by considering something that is secured. Now, what I mean by that is not necessarily going to get a car or a home loan. Well, secured, let me back up and just clarify. Secured loan or secured credit card means that you have an asset that you are borrowing against. Case in point, my husband decided he wanted to buy his first car using a secured loan. So what he did, he had $1,000 in the bank. He goes to the bank and say, hey, I want to purchase a car, but I don't want to purchase a car using a car loan. I would prefer to use the money that is in my bank account without withdrawing it, but I'd like to borrow against the money or the asset that I already have with this institution. My husband bought his first car, and it was a 1988 box Chevy Caprice. It was brown. The reason why I know that is because when I met him, he was still driving it in 2001. so, so, so he decided to borrow against the money that he had in the bank and make payments. Now, the payments were very small because not only the amount was small, but also the interest rate is small. So it's not that they're running your credit per se to see if you qualify. It is because you already have that asset in the bank, you are borrowing against and paying it back. And because you're doing that, that also could show up on your credit report that you have this loan and you're paying it back. So you can establish a nice, base or foundation of credit that way. You can do the same thing with a credit card, a secured credit card.
Yeah.
Let's say same scenario, but instead of him buying a car, he decides that he just wants to, I don't know, go to the mall and shop up a little bit. He can do that. But it's going to be up to the maximum of whatever amount that he is set according to what's in his bank account. And at any given time, the bank know that, hey, if he defaults, we can just withdraw it, pay us, and we're good to go. And there's no, you don't have to worry about collections and things of that nature going on your credit report, which could also, derail your credit journey. But those are things that you don't have to worry about in a secured loan situation. So I always recommend to young people or people that are really trying to start, building and establishing a decent foundation for credit, to save money first, build that nest egg, in your bank, in a savings account, and then borrow against it, just so you can establish the fact that you can make payments on time, every time, for a long period of time. Those are the things that's going to really determine, starting your credit history.
So,
Yeah.
so Tina, if you have, go ahead, Aurora, go ahead.
I like I said, another way also that she mentioned earlier. She says, like you said, get a credit card, but also a money utility and a cell phone bill. And another way is like what I try to do with my kids is like, become an authorized user on someone else's card, but the authorized user use that card. So now your name is attached to someone else's credit as you piggybacking off of them. As long as just understanding, like, hey, this is my son, this is my daughter. I'm gonna make him authorized users. So now your name is now attached to authorized users. Mom and dad paying for the bill, but you get the benefits of that person paying for the bill. The bad thing is if you attach to that person and they don't pay for the bill, your credit falls also.
Right.
So you gotta make sure you do it with somebody you trust.
That's right. And somebody that won't backfire on you. So
Right.
I know other, parents have tried that with their children. And I've got some friends actually, and the daughter is an authorized user. And the funny thing is my friends who are the parents, they get notifications when the daughter is using said
Yep.
credit card. And so they're like, and then they go back and say, you need to pay your portion of the bill by
Yep.
such and such date, or you're cut
Yep.
off.
Yep. Yep.
I said, hey, I'm not mad. I ain't mad at you about that.
Being responsible. Yeah.
Right. Because
Yep.
you don't want to be in a position to where you totally deplete, not only that person's credit
Right.
point as far as, their credit score, but you also don't want to deplete their usage and,
Right.
just charge up to where they can't use their own credit card anymore, and they were really just signing you on to do you.
Yeah. Or you
Right.
can put them on a card and then keep the card.
Listen, okay? Now that's something I would do.
Me too.
My son would be
I'm building your credit, but I'm keeping that card.
right. My son would look at his credit report. He'd be like, Mom, I got some child. You don't know nothing about that. Go sit down. I have not done that to my son. I don't want to make it sound like I've done. No, I have not done that.
Hey, I wouldn't blame you. It's a new world. Go ahead, Ron.
So if say someone saw their credit report and there was things, and I'm both of you probably can answer this, they wanted to dispute something. What's the process of disputing, say, a late fee that wasn't late, or something that's on there that's not correct on your
That's a great
report?
question. Now, I don't want to come off as the credit repair specialist. I am not. But I will
Okay.
say that I've got enough experience dealing with individuals who have, credit to where their debt to ratio isn't the best, or they're trying to really decrease their
Come on.
debt in a way to be able to qualify to purchase a home or purchase a car
Right.
or something like that. So I want to put the disclaimer out there. I am not a credit repair specialist, but I do have enough experience in helping folks make sure that their credit improves and stays, good long term. So with that being said, I think people need to understand that knowing what is on their credit report is the absolute utmost important thing that you can do as far as credit. As far as, going in, like take for instance, car shopping with my husband is very embarrassing because we'll go and, the person will come up, they want to shake hands, they want to introduce themselves. And my husband go, don't talk to me till you pull my credit. My husband won't say his name. He won't say nothing. I'm like, you are just being a jerk. He's like, no, because wait till they come back. When I first started going through these exercises with him. And when they came back, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how are you? You want something to drink? You want it? And we're like, oh, really? And so with that being said, the reason why we can go in there, with that attitude, with that level of confidence that is borderline cocky, because we already know what's on our credit report.
Right.
And we also know what our credit scores are. So there is a point where you could go in and you're not clutching your pearls or being afraid on what that person is going to say across the table from you. What you turn the table by knowing what's on your credit report, you go in with the ball in your court and you have another knowledge. So if they say, oh, well, this is going to be your interest rate, you can say, I'm going across the street and I'm talking to them because I know you guys aren't telling me, the best information. And that interest rate is too high, more than what somebody with my credit score should say. So when it comes to disputes, those are also very important. And it's very important from not necessarily just a late charge per se, because sometimes credit card companies do it differently these days, Robin. I remember back when, you guys and we were starting to build our credit. Back in our day, when we first started this, they would charge you a late fee because you're 30 days late. Now they charge you a late fee the morning after they didn't receive your stuff at 11:59 at 12 a.m. You have a late fee. So it's way different now. So that's not going to show up on your credit report because it hasn't been 30 days or more late. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. So I want to make sure that that's clear, that so folks know that just because they got a late fee doesn't necessarily mean that they've been late 30 days. They could have been late an hour and they're throwing a late fee on there. So just want to be clear. But now that doesn't mean that you can't still call, because I've done this. Call and say, hey, you do realize that either my payment was on the way or whatever. And they can say, no, yes, we know that. However, it wasn't received by such and such time. Now, I have had some folks on the line to say, oh, we'll waive that for us because we waive that for you this one time, whatever. Okay, cool. I want to keep my $35. In fact, you can put that $35 on my principal so I can pay this joker off. In that, you can always call and dispute, especially if something is erroneous on your credit report. I always recommend people to pull their credit report. I tell clients to go to annualcreditreport.com every year and pull your free credit report. And also I do too, like Experian. Now, people don't know this, so you can always go and get your credit report for free at annualcreditreport.com. I tell clients all the time, know what's on your credit report. You do not have to pay to get your credit report. You can also go to Experian.com. Now, I recognize that most people think that if you go to Experian.com, that when you sign up, there's a service that you have to pay for. Absolutely not. If you know me, you know I'm very cheap. Husbandry is the word that I like to use, but it means cheap. And I will not pay for something if I do not have to. Listen. So I go to Experian.com and I can sign up for free for the service to tell me my credit score. It tracks my credit score and I can pull my credit report. The difference between the paid service and the non-paid service or the free service is the fact that if I don't have the paid service, I can't refresh my credit score and my credit report at will.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I'll wait 30 days. And it has this little clock in the upper left-hand corner. It says 25 days, 6 hours, and 22 seconds before your credit report refreshes. Okay, I'll wait. And that's fine. So I guess the point of the matter is that when you go and get your free credit report, I don't care how you get it, but get it for free. Always take a look to see, what is on there. And you're able to denote, one, if there is a balance, two, if it's in good standing, which means open, or if it's closed. But you also can see if one is delinquent or within collections. So it's very clear on, kind of what the status is. Now, think about this too. If you are pulling said credit report, when you go and try to buy this house or this car, they can see the same thing that you're seeing. So you want to make sure that is crystal clear and that you are able to say, no, this is erroneous. I've had situations to where things were erroneous on my credit report. I had no problem calling. I had no problem talking to the folks to be clear on, either A, what happened, or B, this was the situation. And maybe I was in the military at the time. I think the last time I had a situation and I was overseas. I mean, they were very forgiving and understanding. I recognize all agencies aren't like that, but the agencies that I've talked to in the past, and I always sweeten, I always want to make sure that my voice is very sweet. And I'm saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. So I really try to milk it because I need my money back, or I need you guys not to charge me extra for something. So I'm going to be super sweet every time. I'm going to catch this fly with all the honey I got. So with that being said, I do call and I do dispute, and 100% of the time that it's happened to me, it's really been twice. I don't want to make it sound like it's been 30 times. It's been twice, but I'm 2 for 2. And, I've been able to get things off of my credit. And the important piece, what people forget, is when something gets cleared on your credit, it might not be erased from your credit report. Please be mindful of that. So it may still show up, not that it's counting against you, or maybe something didn't update properly. What happens most time is they'll send you some type of correspondence saying, we've come to terms, or we've forgiven your debt. Keep that piece of paper until further notice. I had something going on with a phone company that will remain nameless. And I might have had that dispute back in, 98, maybe? I didn't throw that piece of dispute paperwork away until last year. I mean, that's how long I kept it.
The gentleman or the person from Dubai, I don't want to assume that's a gentleman. They said, sorry, last question. Is there if there is a dispute for a large amount, is it better to clear it or still continue to dispute? That way the credit score is still fine.
Help you on this one.
Go ahead, Mr. Arrow, you got.
Ooh, girl. Now I'm like you. We was going to buy a car.
And I'm like, my credit good. Pull my credit. Oh, it's locked. And he pulled a credit, girl. And I pull my credit every 6 months. I look at it a lot. And he says, Mr. Siggers, your credit, something's not right. I said, man, you gotta be crazy. I looked at that screen, my credit was like $595. And I was like, what in the world happened? Looked at my wife's credit score, 780. Let's use her number. I figured out what happened to mine.
Okay.
And what happened was, it took them a while. It took me almost 2 years before they helped me to admit it. They was changing the system over, and at the time
Who
they
is
were
they?
changing this.
Who is?
I don't want to say no names. One of those three.
Okay.
Well, the people who I was with, the federal loan people I was working with, they was changing the system over, and what happened was I was going from manual payments to automatic payments, right? And I got my first automatic payment in. So after you get the first one in, you're good to go. Well, I got caught up in the transformation of going from one system to another. They told me that. Oh, we dropped the ball. So I'm like, okay, y'all dropped the ball. So can you fix my credit? Because y'all was the one who automated the system. And it was a large amount. It's, you're talking about $10,000 or more. And they was like, no, that's your responsibility to make sure the bill get paid. And I'm like, agreed. But if it's automated, why do I have to take the whole blame? So what I learned with this is being nice, being a lot of honey. Look, I take full responsibility for this huge settlement amount that I did not pay on time monthly. But I want you guys to share in the blame. But I know I just put the blame on myself. It took me 2 years to dispute this, going back and forth, communicating with them. And what they did, but every month I would call, they would give me 25 points, 25 points, 25 points. Just for, showing them the calls and the time that I put in that I was serious. I didn't just give up. If you call one time and give up, they're like, okay, leave it where it is. But if you show you're persistent and you're showing that you wasn't at fault or you trying to work with them, they typically work with you because it's in the system. Call May 1st, call June 1st, call July 1st. I call every month on the 1st like clockwork. Says, can you help me out? I was sending them emails, faxing them stuff. They finally just like Steve Urkel. I just wore them down. I finally wore them down and got back to 700. But it wasn't like Robin, 784. But I had to admit that it was my fault because it's still my responsibility to pay the bill. But it was part their blame because they let me fall to the crack. But me just being persistent and calling them and talking to them, they was like, okay. Another thing I did, I had Equifax. I disputed the claim the backdoor way. Did it right around Christmas also because I heard that during the busy time of the year, they inundate with these requests. They may just overlook it. And Equifax does it for you automatically. You pick which one you want to dispute, and you say dispute and why, and hit the send button, and then they'll contact the company. And that works great. Only problem is, if they dispute in 30 days, you're going to lose your case. So my hope's always to say, let me do it, and hopefully they don't respond in 30 days, and they give you all your points back. So my suggestion was, man, it was a big bill. It's just to continue to work with them on every chance you get. Because if the dispute is valid, a lot of times they want you to spend more money, so they're going to work with you in order to say, okay, like Tina said, we may not be able to take that negative mark off your comment, but we can say, client agreed to pay as agreed to, and you pay that amount, and you're good to go. So that's what I did, and it was a huge amount. I think it was like $10,000, and I was like, that's why I had all that extra money in my account. I was like, where I got all that extra money from? I'm like, I got extra money in my account. I'm like, I should have been looking at that thing monthly. And that taught me a lesson. From that point moving forward, every month I'm looking at like clockwork, making sure every bill clears, every statement is done, and the checkbook is balanced. So that's my advice on that one.
But
Okay,
if
now
may,
I have a scenario.
I'm sorry, Robin, if I may, real quick. You brought up a
Okay.
good point, Elroy, about checking it every month, and I'm going to tell you why that's so important. When you do, it's so easy to find errors because you know your credit report like the back of your hand and in your sleep if you look at it that much.
Yeah.
So if you see something new or if a dollar amount changes, you're like, wait, what? Because it doesn't look the exact same as it did the last 8 months you've been looking at it. So you'll be able to identify errors and changes quite quickly when
Yes.
you do that. Thank you, Robin, for allowing
Yeah.
me to add that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I keep
oh,
my credit locked also. I keep it locked. So only people can unlock it is me or my wife. So when someone tries to steal my credit and like that, it's locked and I get an alert. Someone tried to pull it or something like that. So that's another thing. If you get one of those Equifax experience as an account, you can lock your credit so no one can get into it.
and so this is something I have a question. The person in Dubai. So if they have, I'm gonna just throw out $5,000 that they dispute, paying it off does not clear the dispute. You just paid it off, but that that black mark on your credit report stays. That's correct,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So paying it off does not clear you up. It just shows that you paid it off, but they still have that black mark against you. So you still have to work
Correct.
with them to rectify that mark.
That's
It'll
true,
say
but I would
pay as agreed. It'll say pay
right,
as agreed.
exactly. But I would rather that than you're just gonna ignore us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I would rather paid as agreed
Mhm.
versus this guy never pays his stuff, or
Right.
delinquent,
Right.
delinquent, 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 delinquent. So it,
Right.
but also I recommend people this, especially if it's a large amount to the individual in Dubai. Um, if it is, like a large amount or whatever, number one, don't give up. Number one.
Right. Call.
But then number two, yeah. But then number two, you want to talk with them about
Mm-hmm.
an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to make payments,
Mm-hmm.
or or if you save your money, you may be able to talk them into agreeing um, to allow you to pay a portion and maybe not the entire amount that you owe.
Exactly.
So, like, I recommend the clients, say if it's like what you were saying earlier, let's say it's $10,000 and that's what you owe. I tell clients all the time, if you save 5,000, call them jokers and be like, I got 3,000. Now, notice I didn't say all five, right?
Right. Right.
So, hey, hey, man, I got 3,000. You take it. Now they can say yes or no, but if they say yes, you've gone from paying 10,000 to three, and you got two left. You chunking deuces. Or
Right.
they say no. We're not going to accept that. Okay. And then when you save 5,000, you save 7,000. Call them and say, hey, I got 5,000. Notice you always keeping money in your pocket.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
So that's something
Right.
that I also tell clients to consider doing is, offer them an opportunity, because, sometimes those creditors, they'll rather take something than nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And another thing also, when you get behind like in a large payment like that here, go back and look at your agreed upon payment per month. Sometimes picking up that monthly payment just to catch up. So you making like $200 a month payment. Just say, hey, I'm not, something went wrong. I had a lapse in judgment, so I'm picking my payments up again. And you made like 4 or 5 payments, and say, hey, I've come across a large sum of money, so I want to be able to, maybe erase some of those negative comments. If I pay you guys $1,000, would that be feasible enough to maybe erase one of my late payment fees? I got 3, so maybe you can just give me 2. I've done that before too. When I had the loan, it's like, sure. I went from 3 to 2 to 1 to 9. That's what I did. It's like, give you $1,000, no problem. I waited a few more months, got another $1,000. Did that 3 times, and they removed those comments. They changed it from late to paid as agreed. Pay as agreed is better than a negative comment.
Right. So
They want that money. They want that money.
right, right. So it sounds like it's to your benefit to not just ignore what you owe, is to talk to them and work things out and get it paid off, because down the road you're going to be looking, like Tina said, to get an apartment or
Mm-hmm.
turn on your utilities, and
A
because
job.
basically yeah, jobs, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I was going to say, basically everything is almost tied to your
Yeah.
credit.
Yes.
Practically everything in this country is tied to your credit.
I've seen
Your
people
credit.
not get jobs who are qualified for jobs because they are a security threat because their credit is under a
Yes.
certain number.
Yes.
Because they
Or,
say you're a threat.
mm-hmm,
You might do a side deal with somebody in order to
yep.
get paid. So you're a threat.
Mm-hmm.
You could be the best candidate, but that 600 score, you got to have a job.
Right. Or you could lose your position at your job, especially if you work for the federal government and, there is an issue of, security predicated on the position that you hold. And say maybe you have a top secret or something. If they deem you as a threat, that top secret is gone. And then those dollars that you were getting because of your top secret clearance is also gone. So we got we got to keep this money going.
Yep.
So by any chance, do you know the ranges for your credit? Like this, from here to here is bad, from here to here is okay, from here to here is great. Does anyone know that?
I can pull that up. I can tell you right now that 720, I believe, is good. 720 to like 770 something or another is good. Once you start getting to the 780s plus, you're almost in the range of excellent. Hold on, while I log into my account, I'll be able to tell you.
I just pulled it up.
Exactly.
It says
Okay.
I can read it to you. It says the base FICO score ranges from 300 to 850. The FICO defines the good range as 670 to 739. Then it says
it's 670. Okay.
Yeah, 670 to 739. That's the good range. So the bad range is below 670, and then the excellent range is above 740 and higher. Yeah. So it's kind of like the three levels of income, poverty, mid-level, and then the high level. It's almost like the same. There's three ranges. They got the bad, below 670. They got the good, 670 to 739, and they have the excellent, 740 to 850.
But then also just a note, every agency, with the three big credit agencies, each one looks at credit and credit score differently. So I don't want anybody to be discouraged that, if they have a particular, level and that Elroy just read off and, oh man, I'm not excellent, I'm not good. Don't be discouraged. Keep working on it. And that way, no matter which agency pulls your credit, you're going to be straight.
Yeah. It's actually 5 levels. Poor is 300 to 579. That's poor. Fair is 580 to 669. Good is 670 to 739. Very good is 740 to 799. And if you're excellent, you're 800 to 850. There you go.
Right.
5 levels, not 3. 5 levels.
And these credit scores is power. It's power in this country.
Yep, it is.
It definitely is.
So the better off you are.
Yes. And I also want to say this because my husband and I, we're going through a season right now that we are purchasing multiple investment properties as we speak. Matter of fact, we close on one tomorrow. The reason why I bring that up is because for individuals who are looking at expanding their wealth, expanding their territory, even wherever you are in your credit journey, start those good habits now, because you wouldn't have paid me to believe 2016 when we started. You couldn't have paid me to believe 8 years ago that my husband and I would be investment property owners. Never crossed our minds even to think about that. But because we established good credit, back in the day when we was, both poor and military and getting our, little hustle on trying to, make $10 out of 15 cents, because we were still establishing those habits back then. Today, we could tell you that we own 5 homes. Well, as of tomorrow, it'll be 5.
Praise God.
But it's because we established those good habits back then when we said, okay, look, one day we're going to want, to buy a home. One day we're going to want, to have kids and, be able to, make sure that they're okay. One day we're going to at least want to do, X, Y, and Z that will require us having good credit. So we established those habits quite easily, number one. Number two, and this is a huge thing about credit that may sound unrelated, but it is absolutely 100% related. You have to live on less than you earn. Now, I know you've heard that a million times before, but it's so true, which means if you make $100,000, your living expenses can't be $100,000 a year. They need to be,
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
closer to 75,
Less.
80. Right. And the reason why that is true is because what I find in my profession and dealing with, multiple ranges of clients, whether it be age, walks of life, background, male, female, whatever, 90, I would say between 85 and 90% of my clients, and even me, got in trouble with credit because we didn't have enough in savings to handle that emergency. And once the barriers open, we just said, well, forget it. We might as well blow it all. We might as well ruin it. While I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and buy this. So it starts with, I'm not going to use a credit card until there's an absolute emergency. Then the emergency happens and, well, shucks, now that we got a balance, we might as well go ahead and run it on up. So those things happen. It's called life. And as you do that, if you are living on less than you earn, then life wouldn't happen as much or cause as much detriment as it does in a situation to where, you're living to the brink, right on, your income level. So it's so important to establish habits now, not only to, create and keep good credit, but it's also important to make sure that you live on less than you earn so you can continue to keep your credit great. I hope that made sense.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, because people want to spend their money and have good credit, and that's not how it's going to work. You have to
Right.
give up something, and that's something we always say: you pay now or you pay later. Either
Yeah,
way, you can pay.
right. And the question is, do you want to pay more or do you want to pay less? But you're gonna pay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Exactly
right.
right.
That is so right. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss, Tina or Elroy?
No,
Anything else?
I think we hit a lot of good points, and as always, way to get in contact with Tina. I'm pretty sure she can give her information. Good ways to get in contact with us. For the person who's listening, I'll go ahead and throw it out there before they hang up. We have an app out there. It's called Bags of Money. If you got an Android, download it today. It's available. Apple's coming out soon. We're working on it right now. Hopefully, we get it out within the next few weeks. But if you have an Android, go check it out. It's called Bags of Money. It is a great app to help you to manage your everyday living expenses and controlling your debt. It actually can project your bank account for months to weeks to years out. So you can click on any day of the week and you can say what you potentially can have in 4 weeks from now. So it's one of the best apps out there. So go out there and check it out. And we'll probably give you more information about it in a few minutes. So I had to get that in before that young man hangs up or young woman hangs up. Go ahead, Al.
I know that's right. Listen, thank you. So if you're looking to connect with me, you can always reach me through Instagram, which is at the underscore financial underscore T. You can also reach me on Facebook at the financial T. You can always go to our website, which is thefinancialt.org. That is TheFinancial, the letter T.org. So if you are on any social media platform, including LinkedIn, we're also at the Financial T. So we got to keep it professional too now.
I heard that. I heard that. And I will be post when I post this podcast out on Podbean. All her contact information will be out there, so you can reach out to her and
Yes.
possibly become a client, so she can assist you, so you can buy 5 houses.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now, yes, we are accepting new clients, and thank you for sharing that, Robin, because I do want to highlight that we are accepting new clients. We're very excited to offer 1 year subscriptions to our clients. Or if you want to pay us on an hourly retainer, that's fine too. But we want to make sure that all of our listeners understand that we are here for the long haul with you. So we want to make sure that every penny in your budget is covered. So it takes us about 12 months to make sure that we've got everything covered, not only for today, not only for tomorrow, but even beyond. So we are very proud to offer our annual subscription services. So we're excited about that. Thank you.
So Tina, he asked for your LinkedIn page again. So give it
I'm
to him
putting it.
again. Give it to him.
I'm I'm putting it in. I'm typing it to him.
Oh,
in the
thank
chat?
you. Yes. So just so you know,
Okay.
it's at the Financial T. So if you search the Financial T, that's where you'll see. Yep, exactly. Thank you, Robin.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So for us, we are Gifted Generations. On Instagram, we can be found at gift.gen. On Facebook, it's Gifted Gen LLC. And then on YouTube, just do the search Gifted Generations LLC. You'll see all our YouTube information that my wife has so kindly doctored up. She does a great job at that. She's she's exceptional at that stuff. Her IT skills are elaborate nowadays. We also have our own website.
Hey.
It's gift. She is. She is. Trust me, I don't spend no time with it. So she frees me up to be able to focus on anything else. A lot of other things. Our website is giftedgenerations-llc.com. And as we always say, Robin, what we say? Don't forget
Don't
that
forget the
dash.
dash.
Exactly. And as I said before, we have an app called Bags of Money. The Android is out there, and we're working on the Apple version as we speak right now. And the app was an app that can actually, once you put in your expenses and income, and you can monitor it daily. It has a home page that comes up and tells you your current checking balance each and every day, and it also allows you to project, days down the week what you potentially could have in your account. So if the day is July 22nd, and you're curious about how much money you're going to have on August 31st, based on your current spending habits, you click down on August 31st and you click on that date. It's going to say this is what it'll be in your balance if you continue the same pace you're currently spending on. And of course, if you add money, you take away money, it's going to update that number also. So it allows you to see down the road rather than guessing. Well, I have enough money to take that trip on August 31st. Guess what? The app can tell you, yes, you can. Here's your amount. No, you can't. You're going to be short. The app does that for you. There you go, Bob. Back to you.
Oh, and also with the app, I want everyone to know that this is app is not tied to your banking information.
Nope.
It's a standalone app where it's a sort of getting you to be engaged in your finances. So you have to manually put your numbers in, and the more you putting your numbers in and opening up the app and looking at it, the more you're engaged in how much you're
Right.
spending, what you're doing.
Right.
Because right now
Right.
we're such an automated system that you swipe, 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 and no one's paying
Right.
attention. But this
Right.
app, we intentionally made it this way so that you will go in to the app and put your numbers in so you can be engaged in your finances.
Yeah. And here's the thing: if you
Okay.
have a car payment that you pay every month at the same time, you can put that. It will automatically update your information repeatedly. So you put it in the one time, and you say do it monthly, and it's on the fifth. Every fifth is gonna take out that money every month. It's gonna post it for you automatically in the app. So if you get gas, that's the manual input she's talking about. You want to say, "Oh, I got gas today," but anything you do repeated, your car payment, your house payment, insurance, your light, those kind of things is repeated. If you make that a repetitive frequency, it's going to do it for you automatically. It's the infrequent things that you got to put in there manually that you made at restaurant stuff, dry cleaning bills. Those are things you put in manually to see the changes as it affects your potential checking balance from that day moving forward.
Yes, so I pray that the app just, our prayer is that it blesses people to be engaged in their financial
Right.
situations,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yes, because we have to start being mindful of what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Hey, the
definitely
app
have
will
to.
help the app
Our
will help that credit score.
yeah, we have to be intentional about our relationships, and one of our relationships is with finances. So we have to be
Yeah.
intentional about it. So,
I could
so
not agree
Miss,
So Miss
more.
yes.
so Mr. Dubai, you go down there and you get that link and you share it with all your friends and you come back and tell us how will it help them out. We're gonna call you Mr. Dubai or Miss Dubai.
They say sure will, will do. And look, you might be seeing Tina over there sometime soon.
Listen, listen, look, I gotta get my money back up. I need to go. When I go for my 50th birthday, I'm going ham. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm going ham. Yes. Yes.
I heard that. I
Level
heard
level
that.
level shoes at the Dubai Mall is waiting on me.
Mm,
And whoever
mm.
this is knows exactly what I'm gonna talk about. Level shoes is waiting for me. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
As a matter
going
of
to
fact,
complete. I'm
tell me
going
your
to act a
tell me your
fool.
shoe size and you'll send you a pair.
So in the red bottoms, yes, I wear a 38. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they
In
said
red
it's a
bottoms,
huge store.
yes. It
Yeah.
level. It has it's like its own. It's like its own Walmart of nothing but shoes, and I love it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
Wow.
level
That
shoes.
sound like my
I'm
But
coming
boy,
back.
that
somebody,
sound
Level
like
shoes.
that sound like that sound like our kind of
yes.
place.
He says he lives in the
Listen.
Emirates Towers. He said he lives in the tower, the Emirates Tower.
Oh,
Wow.
wonderful. Yes,
Nice place.
man. Mm,
Mm.
Nice place.
yeah,
Well, we're gonna come see.
very.
Just give us the room number. We'll come see
Yes.
you.
Yes.
That's all we need.
Whew.
Very nice.
We got a
Well,
new
Tina,
friend.
Oh
yeah.
goodness.
Well, Miss Tina, it is
Listen,
always
living
a pleasure.
vicariously.
Yes, yes,
And it is, and I'm so happy that we got to get
yes.
back on. Thank you so much again for having me, and I look forward to our next topic. You always come with the heat, Robin. I really appreciate it, and
Oh,
everyone, you always have that great commentary. It's like I could talk shop with you, and I appreciate that.
yeah, because
Thank you. Appreciate it.
this is his wheelhouse definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Well,
as
thank you all
always,
again. Yes,
yes, thank you so much, and thank you, Dubai, for joining us. We appreciate you. And
absolutely.
this podcast will be posted on Podbean next Wednesday. It'll go be posted out there next Wednesday so people can listen in. So thank you, Tina, and continue blessing and favor on your family
Thank you, and
and
yours.
your business.
All
All
righty. Well, thank
righty.
you guys. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And
Bye bye,
you.
Dubai. Alrighty. Bye bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, FinanceOlogy 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.